I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public input. Joe, I see you're down.
Yeah. The current bleachers at the high school field, or one of the high school
Only
uses.
just you walk up to the mic, so.
I asked somebody on the city to look into that a year ago, before the season started, because at the beginning of the season, there wasn't even any bleachers over there. So when they brought the bleachers and set it, you can't see from the east side of the bleachers. If you're sitting even in the front row, you can't see third base, and you can see the shortstop, but you can't see even the person that plays third base. Now, if you move to the east side and sit in the bleachers,
Oh, this is from.
you can't even see the shortstop. You can't
Joe,
see
before we go on, did you say the high school?
the college
And the
field, the
college
high school
field.
field, the one
College
behind the
field.
college, and
Baseball, not softball.
softball.
Softball. Okay.
The rec uses it, and they said they've heard complaints too. I asked that girl, Katie, if she was going to be here tonight. She said that she had an umpire or something up there. And she said they've had complaints as well. And you can't see the scoreboard, can't see. And then you move to the west side, you can't even see the shortstop. And that's in the front row. The further you go back, like 40 through, you get high enough, you can see over the dugout. But older, the grandparents and the kids that, parents that have young kids, they're the ones that have, sit in the first two rows, and me, I'll admit. You guys have, I asked David Reiser, you guys have approximately an 12 by 16 bleachers that you only use twice a year. It wouldn't be square behind the dugout because you have that concession stand restroom there, but we could be offset a little bit. Anyway, I asked somebody from the city 2 years ago before the season started, this year before the season started, and still nothing. I wondered if you guys could help me out a little bit.
I think again, Joe, we'll look at it, take it into consideration, talk to our partners at Benton College, because there's a joint complex committee that does, rule that as a rule and the things set up for that. But we can sure take it into consideration. I don't go out there anymore, so I'm not seeing it directly. Bill looks like
Is it the east or west field?
Westfield.
that's what I'm thinking. That's
Yeah.
like the west.
Eastfield, they have nice bleachers in front of the press boxes. They have two nice press boxes. The press box, there's pictures of the press box there too. That's in poor shape. The roof's gone. It's painted, but the roof's gone, and it's, basically, I don't think you two could fit in the press box. I need to be tight. So.
You don't like it that well,
I'm not sure if it's insulting you or me.
Joe, let me do this. Let me pass it on. I'll talk to, recreation and talk to the college with the sports complex items, and we'll see what we can do to get that.
All right, I appreciate that.
I appreciate the information, Joe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hang on, getting it out.
Amendments to the agenda. I have one, it's item 6D. I'd like to pull that off and handle that separately. Give Chief an opportunity to introduce. I'm just going to drop it to 6D. We'll handle it by itself. After the consent, is that all right? We'll go straight into it. Just handle D on its own. Is there any changes, amendment changes? Hearing none, let's go to the mayor's report. I want to thank the members of the Midsummer's Committee and the public that made it another Midsummer's possible for all of us. Somebody didn't talk to the weatherman with the rain, but I understand what went on, even with the rain after the fact, that it was a good day. Thank you, Rick, for covering my opening greetings for me, even with the Norwegian jokes and that. I appreciate that. Swedish dancers left on Sunday for Sweden. Keep them in your prayers as they travel. We did send a gift for our sister city Munkfors along with them. They're going to be meeting with them, with the mayor maybe and the manager. I'm not sure what they call them over there, but them directly, for a luncheon and everything. So warm weather. Be checking on your neighbors. Make sure they're doing okay and all to eat. And then please, as always, remember to recycle. So let's move on to the consent agenda. What is your desire?
Excuse me, Mayor. I was talking with Mr. Holson, so I didn't get, was there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, there was. We took item 6D to handle it by itself.
Okay.
So the consent agenda would be A through C.
Motion to approve the consent agenda A through C.
Moved and seconded by Mr. Councilman Martin to handle the consent agenda A through C. Roll call, please.
Gosh, I have to change this. Email.
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Betty? Yes. Thank you.
Motion carried. Chief, would you rise for 6D?
Again, second time in a row, I'm presenting another volunteer for ambulance service, Carrie Morton. She's a medtech, flight medic with Life Team. She's out of McPherson. She's already certified, and she's also a paramedic. So,
What? We don't have to train anybody?
well, there's a little bit of Lindsborg stuff we have to get.
Oh.
So I'm asking for approval of Carrie for tonight for the ambulance service.
Carrie, is there anything you want to say?
She bring the speech.
No.
She does help train our EMTs currently with our EMT class as well through Hutch Community College. So great connection to the field.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Carrie, welcome. We appreciate all your help for the ambulance service here in town and the service of our citizens. So thank you very much.
As an aside to this last meeting we had when we approved, I think, 2 people for the EMS service, the very next morning I was going somewhere and here was the ambulance there, and that person who was just there the night before getting approved was working her heart out there. So it's great.
Would you like to get a photo then?
It would be great to get a photo.
You have your phone?
Kristen, you want to go quick?
Once, right?
I think you'll see in front of the seat.
You come right through here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go to the head of the class. Go right here in the seat.
So I think they might want you as.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your service.
Yes, thank you very much. P&Z. Old business, I see none. New business, ordinance 4991. This is the rework of the special event permit. As described here, the main change was taking it from 60 days to 45 days. Also reworking the top of the heading and the form itself to make sure it's emphasized. So some of the personal responsibility on their part to make sure they get the form included, picked up, and returned to us in the amount of days required by ordinance to allow us time to get the work done that we need to do. What is your desire?
I've read all of this material and find it acceptable and move that we approve this as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion from anyone on the ordinance 4991 CMB cereal malt beverage special event permit? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Betty? Yes. Blaine?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Emo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 9B, because of the adoption of the House Bill 2502, which does not allow public employers to prohibit their employees from concealed carry weapons. We're working for the employer. This is needed, this motion to change our personnel policies with those changes are reflected in the changing of the policy. Bill, I'm sorry, we'll go back to you, Bill. What is your desire?
Will we approve?
Been moved and second. Bill, do you have some discussion on this? You reviewed
No,
it?
I looked at it. I'm not sure that there is an option that's available. I did make some suggestions to Greg as far as things to incorporate in here as far as disciplinary action in the event that it was violated. But
And those have been included?
they've been included.
Take note also that Greg and the city team has checked with our liability carrier and also worked on insurance carrier, when they would be covered, you know, if it's into a dueling deal between the two, between two city employees who are carrying, neither one would be covered under workers' comp. So keep that in mind.
I have a question for Bill. Do we need to specify what we mean when we talk about securing the firearm? If they have to go into a school or, private residence, do they actually have to say that has to be behind lock and key, or is it just fine to say that it's secure?
I talked with Greg, or emailed back and forth with Greg briefly, and I didn't have any problem with the language. What I said was, probably gonna have to just lock the car, put it in the glove box, lock it in the car, and that's it. But
we don't have to
to
say
secure, it's gonna have to be locked somehow. You don't secure something just leaving it there on the front seat.
So that's for public schools, they can't.
Well, for anything.
Anytime you go in.
Yeah.
That's what I
But
was
when we talk about security,
That's what I thought.
I don't think we need to go into saying it has to be locked and in the glove box and that kind of thing.
Okay. Any other questions on this change in the personnel policy?
Well, I understand that we're just changing our wording and so on to agree with state statute. Isn't that right, Bill?
Yes.
But fundamentally, I disagree with this. So I understand that if I'm going to say no, it will have no appreciable difference whatsoever, but I'm saying no.
And for the record, if you watch these things long enough, you'll find David and I can actually agree on something.
Bill?
Let me point out, if this policy is to be adopted with the limited numbers here, it's going to take 5 votes to do so, including the mayor. If there are 4 of the council, the mayor can cast the 5th vote. But if there are only 3 of the council, it's not going to pass.
Should we hold this until next?
I have to agree with David. Fundamentally, I don't agree with this, but I understand it's something that we really have to do because that's been the change. So I'm not going to throw a wrench in this as much as I would like to.
I can cover one of you because I understand the same. HB 2502 is what it is.
Yeah. And it's not something we can charter out of.
No. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
May I ask one more question? If I still vote no, Bill, will this pass?
I don't know how anybody else can vote.
Let's assume the rest of them vote yay.
I don't think you can make that assumption. I think you vote the way you vote.
I don't want someone coming back 2 or 3 years and say, you voted yes on this.
Then don't vote yes.
Okay.
Further questions? Reference the change in the personnel policy regarding concealed carry. Roll call, please.
Dave? Why did you start with me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Rick?
Yes.
David?
No.
Emo?
Yes.
I'll vote yes as much as I hate to.
Mayor?
Yes. Same stance that I have.
Good.
Motion carried.
Handled well, thank you.
Item 9C, EMS uniforms. Brought help. And brought help this time, so we will have some back and forth discussion.
And we budgeted $3,000 for uniform expenses, or uniform purchases for EMS. And we have provided some bids, and the recommendation is to go with the bid for the shirts and caps from Art Shirt, and then the raincoats from Chief Supply, Chief's Emergency Supply.
What is your desire?
Move we approve as outlined by the chief, total of $1,961.89, is that correct?
Yes. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, questions?
Is it my understanding that what you've got here is a result of some bids?
Yes, we've sought bids from 5 different distributors, I believe. And Art Shirt came in well below and had good quality products as well as had the specs. So, awesome.
I think that's great, but I think someplace here it should say for bids.
Here.
It does.
Yes, I missed that, I'm sorry.
They're included.
Thank you.
Is this new gear for everybody then?
The raincoats are actually going to stay at the station, and we ordered 3 in the sizes that are most common, and then 2 in the sizes that are not as common. And so when they need them, they take them. Everything else, the jackets are issued to each tech, and then we'll just keep those up with commodity from here on out. And then the hats are whoever wants to use them. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it says this bid thing here, I missed it, I went to sleep there.
Any additional questions? Roll call, please.
Emo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Eddie? Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Thank you both very much. Item 9D, visitors guides.
It's that time of year again that we order what we need for the next year. In the past, we ordered these as we had money come in, and they were very expensive due to that because we were purchasing 3,000 to 5,000 at a time. We've been able to purchase about 10,000 a year, and that gets us about what we need for 1 year's time. Currently, I think I have about 6 boxes of 300s out from our order last year. I requested bids from 3 different companies. Mennonite Press has been living our grid every year and giving us a quality product. Out of the 3 companies that I requested bids from, Mennonite Press was the only one that responded with a quote. So I called and requested by email again and received nothing until I turned this into Greg. And that afternoon, Consolidated Printing, one of the owners stopped and told me she was sorry they were a little late. And I said, well, I waited about 2 months on a bid, and she apologized. She said, I have no idea that I'm on their sales rep and not let me know until about a week ago. So anyway, the quote is for $3,614.46. That again would purchase 10,000 visitors guides, and we have $5,000 budgeted for these out of the transient guest tax fund. We do not have additional charges for artwork setup. That will all be done in-house as we have done in the past, because I have the software ability to do that. So my request would be to have approval of that so we can get going on that project.
What is your desire?
Motion approved.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve from Mennonite Press the purchase of 10,000 guides at a cost of $3,614.46. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Betty? Yes. Blaine?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Emo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, Molly. No executive session that I know of. Department head reports.
I have the one from the Recreation Department because Kate has got ball games going on tonight. She's umpiring. So her report contains some updates on Camp Holidays. It started as an intern project in the summer of 2014 with 10 youngsters in attendance. Camp was 2.5 days, 2 half-days and 1 full day for a field trip. And they visited Exploration Place in Wichita. In 2015, we extended to 3 full days and had 30 children attend. And this year, they've lengthened the camp to an entire week. Full days from 9 to 4 daily, from July 11th to the 15th. Exploring Lindsborg, including the chess pool, crafts with the toy store, a visit to the police station, and the old mill. They will have a pool day and spend some time at Coronado Heights. 2 field trips are planned as well. One day will be spent at Canopla State Park, and the park has a program set up for them. And on the last day, they'll travel to Hutch to the Cosmosphere. So that's what update.
Did you tell me how many kids this year?
We haven't got registrations for kids this year yet. They won't start until, I bet, probably next week. But the first year was 10 kids, last year was 30 kids. So I anticipate there'll probably be quite a few more this year.
All right. Community development.
Gary was unable to get back. He had a family emergency in Wichita today, and so he was not able to get back in time for the meeting tonight. So he sends his regrets.
Okay. Administration and finance.
Larry, you can fill up 3 sessions now.
No, I'm going to be short on
Don't
stuff.
do it, Larry.
Look at all that. Look at all that.
We're going for a record here, Larry.
Before you have these long spreadsheets, fund balance comparisons for the general fund, recreation, golf course, wastewater, ambulance, electric and water, and the last sheet shows assumption conference center comparisons for since inception in 2013 through 2016 to date. It shows revenues, expenditures by department, and net income or loss by month and year to date. So mainly this is something just to take with you and just take a look at the various funds and see how they change from year to year. Unless you have some questions for me now, you can always get a hold of it. You can have questions later.
May I ask a question here, Larry, on this, the first top third of the paper, revenues, expenses, and then this is net at the bottom? Profit loss.
On the
What
first
does
page,
this bottom one mean exactly?
on the first page, you've got revenues by year, by month, and then it shows the total for the year and the monthly average. Then you've got the net income loss, but then you see the departments on the next few pages.
Added into that, okay.
So those
But this is
departments,
still net. You're talking to an ignoramus.
right, all the departments added together are included in the total expense lines. And then it's the revenue minus expense, shows that the.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything in here, I mean, before we go and try to really dive into all these numbers, that really stands out that we should kind of look at or take note of?
Well, I think especially with the golf course, the situations we've had with that the past couple of years, you can get a better understanding of where the revenues have come in, where the expenditures have gone out year by year. And it would kind of give you an idea of why we're still having trouble. Other than that, I think that everything's pretty well self-explanatory, which is, you got the various years, so we got all the way from 2002 all the way through 2016, so you can see a trend.
So revenue is all commodities, that's on golf course now, that's concession sales and car rents, I mean, it's all revenue for the golf course.
It's all that, yes.
Larry, is on the first page on the general fund, is it does this include, for instance, the lack of, interest earnings is also reflected in here. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
Are interest earnings reflected in
Yes, all
here?
revenues are in there.
Okay.
When did interest go bad?
It's been about 3 or 4 years. It's been more.
So if I'm looking back here, 11, do you think 11 had considerable interest in it?
So it was down then also, but
So it's before that, 10,
2008.
yeah.
so it's been down quite a few years, but, you know, we've had 5-6% interest, and now we're down to 2.6, 0.5. So it's a tenth of the revenue one that we're having a few years back.
Discouraging.
But on the plus side, if you're borrowing, it's good for you. If you're trying to save and collect money, then it's not.
As far as the ambulance fund, I mean, we're doing okay or better on collecting.
The new company that we're working with is done very well. So they turn around bad debts really quickly, so that we can turn them into collection, and we've been collecting on those bad debts a lot quicker than what we have in the past.
On the third page, there's, under the CDD department, there's a new segment called appropriations. What is that?
Appropriations are the annual amount that we give to Belmont Cemetery.
Okay.
If we have to pay anything on the building for the library and the transfers that we make a year in, it's the sales tax. I know it's a lot of numbers, a lot to digest, so I don't expect you to go through it all tonight.
Won't be a test in 2 weeks.
You never know, Greg, you'll be back, you might throw a pop quiz.
Mayor, could I ask that just a possibility at the next meeting, if we have any questions about this, that might be entertained? In other words, after I
David, we always look at
it.
questions
Yeah.
from you or anybody else.
Yeah.
So. Larry, on a totally different subject, I know we've changed a little bit from the audit about closing the day and all of that. Is that smoothing, streamlining, is that any better?
We've had our bumps, but I think things are working out.
Okay. We feel that the auditors, everybody's going to be satisfied with processes, the changing processes that we put in place.
There's still some discussions between the auditors, and that's just what we can do and can't do. There's always going to be things that they suggest that we're just not able to with the size of staff that we have, so
Okay.
we have to decide what we can and can't do on our suggestions.
So the sign on the door says that we're no longer able to accept payments after 4:30.
The reason for that is that we are now forced to reconcile at the end of each day. If we try to reconcile at the beginning of the next day, the numbers do not work out. Closing at the end of the day, we can get the numbers. Once Haley cuts off to try to reconcile, if anything comes in, it will skew the numbers, and then we have to try to figure out what that was.
So it will not cost them anything. In the game of 4 or 5 on the 10th, there's
We're going to make sure that if somebody pays after 4:30 on the 10th, they're still.
But they won't pay after 4:30 on the 10th. They can't.
Well, the only way would be if they put it in the drop.
Well, yeah, they put the drops like, yeah, but I mean, if somebody comes in on the 10th at 4:45 and says, here's my credit card, I want to pay my bill, we cannot accept it. It have to be the next
They
day.
can't call in or pay in person after 4:30, but if it's in the drop spot or by mail, they will still call it 10.
So that person that wants to pay at 4:45 or comes in because they've been at work until 4:45, they don't incur a late charge.
No.
But you can go ahead and process it for them, is that right?
No.
The next day you process it,
Process
you wait,
has to be the next day.
and then you wait till you.
Because you close out your batch.
Right.
So it's covered. in
Making them whole
administrative.
again.
It is inconvenient, but Katie has to reconcile it, so it has been working.
And wasn't there some talk about making that time 4 o'clock?
4:15, I thought you were gonna try to
Or
get
4:15? No?
We
That
talked
is
about a
still
lot.
negotiations.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I just-
We have to see how this works first.
All right.
And see if it needs to be adjusted later.
Do we have online bill pay, is that right?
No.
We do not. But we've talked about that.
We're talking about it, but we have not found significant data that would let us think that that would be
Cost effective.
profitable, cost-effective thing for us to do.
There are additional fees, and we have to decide if we absorb the fees, do we pass the fees on? But there's other fees besides what we're absorbing right now, the credit cards, debit cards.
I didn't think you could pass the fees on.
There are for some things you can.
I was just thinking, yeah. Additional financial questions of Larry?
If you're really unable to sleep, just take a look at these numbers, that should help.
Is my check been clear this month, Larry?
First,
Still need to keep me up.
we are financial.
$137.50, whatever that is. You know, I think so. All right, thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Item 12, others. Any others tonight? Item 13, motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned. Thank you all for coming.